Welcome everybody to the Honest Review. You know, it took me a while to realize I haven't reviewed any mouse pads for you guys. Shame. We're finally going to be checking out the ODIN PC Zero Gravity mouse pads. The claim that these are the fastest, smoothest mouse pads that are cloth pads that give you the speed that you would get from a hard pad while still maintaining control. We're going to be checking these bad boys out, so let's dive right in. These things are actually really high quality for the price, and they have a couple key features that are engineered, built into the mouse pad that kind of set them apart from their competition, or at least from generic cheap gaming mouse pads that you find everywhere else. So what sets them apart? Well, first off, the way that this is woven is actually designed so that no matter which way you are moving the mouse across the fabric, left, right, up, down, you will not have a difference in the amount of force required to move that object across the mouse pad. And you might be thinking, oh, well, that's not an issue on hard pads, and you're completely correct. On hard pads, this is completely irrelevant, but on cloth pads, not all cloth pads are created equal. Are there companies doing this? Definitely. There are a lot of other high-tier cloth gaming mouse pads that are built specifically just like this one so that you won't have that increased friction. Now, the next thing that sets these mouse pads apart would have to be the way that they've done the stitching along the edges. It's actually much thicker stitching, and it was my primary concern when I started testing because I've used some cheap mouse pads, okay? We've got some cheap budget mouse pads right here for you boys. Probably gonna make the rest of these mouse pads look dirty, so don't judge. All right, these mouse pads right here have stitching, and the difference is that the stitching itself is slightly higher than the fabric on the mouse pad when it's laying flat. So no matter what, if you have this laying on your desk and you're actually gaming with it, it does create this awkward resistance and rubbing on your arm. So right here, where my arm is coming across this mouse pad, if I was flicking left or right or up or down, it is rubbing and just slightly abrasive against your arm. And believe it or not, that is huge. It actually affects you more than you might think. It is for that reason specifically that I love these freaking Zowie mouse pads. There is no stitching whatsoever. Yes, they will start to fray ever so slightly at the edges over time, but there's just no friction at the edge, and your arm is seamlessly traveling all over the mouse pad with no resistance at all. So having that higher quality stitching and it being specifically designed so that it's not higher than the base material, that it sits flush with that base material, is going to give you a much smoother experience in the long run. The next point of interest has to be that every single one of the ODIN mouse pads are 4 millimeters thick. Why is that important? Well, these are zero gravity mouse pads and they're really fast, but they also have the ever so slightest amount of give and squish in the pad itself. It's not a lot of squish, and I play on these competition level, quote unquote, Zowie mouse pads, and I love these things, but these are actually 3.5 millimeters thick, and they give a little bit more than this 4 millimeter pad does. That's actually a good thing because these are meant to be very fast, but still give you a solid amount of control and just a little bit of resistance upon pressure. And ultimately that does play into your level of control while using it. I also like that ODIN has a really good color variation lineup, and you don't see that from a lot of their competition. So they have the white on white, white on pink, black on white, and they also have the black on red. The only con I want to point out about these colors is that the whites aren't really like white to me anyways, and when we check this just for color accuracy, the stitching is definitely, most certainly, a really white, but this is just ever so slightly an off-white, and it depends on how the light is hitting it as well. Now, as far as sizes go, ODIN's got you covered. This is the XL. It's about 19 inches by 16 and a half. It is also my favorite for FPS games. I feel like this is all the mouse pad you could ever need. Then we move up to the XL Extended. Now this is 24 by 14 inches. And then even further, but a little bit skinnier, we have just the plain Extended, which is 36 by 11 inches. I feel like this is a really good setup for just having your keyboard on a pad that it's not gonna get a lot of movement on, and then having your mouse. So just for a workstation setup, I feel like these would work really well. And then there are two of the ODIN mouse pads that we actually don't have here to show you. So the next up is the XXL Extended. Now, this is 36 inches wide, but it's also 18 inches tall. And then you have the 3XL. the Big Daddy, the Pog Champ. This thing comes in at 48 by 24 inches. Holy crap. Right there? Yeah, this 48 right there. That's the size of my review desk. And then height-wise, my review desk is 30 inches long. So 24 inches, quite literally almost covers the entirety of my desk. That is an absolutely massive Big Daddy mouse pad. It is huge. Lastly, and most certainly, most importantly, how fast are these mouse pads? Because they're supposed to be like zero gravity. I was shocked. So I am coming from originally the Zowie GSR. This is the limited edition, and it is meant to be fast, but still have a little bit of control and be just ever so slightly slowed down. And then of course, we moved on to the Zowie GSR SE. This thing is always sold out on their website. I believe this is the #1 selling mouse pad by Zowie. And it is supposed to be the fastest mouse pad that they offer that still offers some good stability and control. I love this mouse pad. I use it on a day-to-day basis. But when I put it up against these zero gravity mouse pads, there's a noticeable difference. These are definitely smoother and faster and still have some good control. It doesn't feel like I'm on a hard pad. It's just much, much faster and smoother in comparison to what I've been using and what I've been considering to be the smoothest, fastest mouse pad that's not a hard pad. So that is definitely a shock, and I feel like that zero gravity title is definitely well earned in this product. I do have to cover some noticeable differences when we're talking about using different weights of mice, as well as the different mice feet that you will find on mice. So this is an 100 gram plus mouse. This is the Logitech G502. This is an 80 gram mouse. This is the Logitech G Pro Wireless. And then this is a 68 gram mouse. This is the glorious Model O. So when using an 100 gram mouse, for sure you can feel that cushion come into effect. Now keep in mind, this is not rocking some aftermarket, mouse feet that are meant to be super, super smooth. This is just your standard mouse feet coming from Logitech. And they are designed to be smooth. They are designed to be really good mouse feet, and they are of high quality. It's just not the same as if we were using G-Skates. Now, how this thing acts, when you put G-Skates on it, it is nearly like I'm using a hard pad. Why is that important? Because you still have that ever so slight friction and control, but ultimately, it's just buttery smooth. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And a bigger question, do most pros use hard pads or cloth pads? The answer is neither. They like what they like and they use what they use because they've grown accustomed to it. They have a muscle memory for it. Some people play on really, really high sensitivity. Some people play on really, really low sensitivity. It's all gonna be what's important to you and how you're developing your muscle memory and your play style. For me personally, these mouse pads are so fast that they're just ever so slightly too fast for me. That's not a bad thing because people all over are looking for cloth mouse pads that are super, super fast, but still offer just a little bit of resistance and cushion for control. Because if I were to put this 68 gram mouse with G-Skates on a really high quality hard pad, it would literally glide all the way across it the second that I let go of this mouse and just gave it some movement. And on a cloth pad that is designed to be really, really low friction and to move really fluidly, that zero gravity effect, it does glide and slide really, really well across the material, but it still has that slight level of control. So my thoughts on the mouse pads are that they're really good quality, and especially for the prices, you don't find this level of quality in the generic lineup that is pretty much everywhere else. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the video the price to performance aspect because these are actually priced really well for how well they're built and for the sizes that they offer. So the XL comes in at 17 bucks. The XL extended, the 24x14, comes in at 20, and then the extended, the 36x11, comes in at 24. The XXL, which comes in at $35, and then the 3XL, which comes in at 50 bucks. In conclusion, I get what all the hype is about. I understand why they're sold out on the ODIN PC website, because these really do offer the speed and the smoothness that you get from using a hard pad, but you get that ever so slight bit of control from using a cloth pad. And if you're looking to get some of these, no, they are not on Amazon yet. yet being the keyword. But you can find these on mechanicalkeyboards.com as well as maxgaming.com. And don't forget the giveaway. We're gonna give all these mouse pads away on our Twitch, which will be down in the description below. Drop us a follow, hit notification if you don't want to miss that. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, share the content, it is greatly appreciated. Notification squad, you guys rock my socks. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Peace.